Welcome back, my dear little resin monkeys. I hope you didn't miss me that much. Unfortunately, this video ended up being a little late. I wanted to partake in the MerMay event that happens on YouTube, but unfortunately, life happened, and here we are. But I am not feeling all that bad because it turns out I wasn't the only one late to our little MerMay party. Looking at you girls from Ancientarium, you thought I wouldn't notice, huh? I get you. Now you understand why I don't partake in these trends. Because I never know if I'll be able to deliver in a timely manner or not. And I don't like to make promises I can't keep, so I just zip it, don't say anything, and just come up and surprise you. If I have the opportunity, like right now, kinda. Now, before I continue to feel sorry for myself, I just wanted to remind you all that I will be attending Anime Expo next month. And I'm even more excited because this year, I am part of the official programming schedule as a panelist. That's right, my dear little resin monkeys. Your queen is going to be there to give a raw and unfiltered chat about what it really means to be a painter with 20 years going in. I hope you can join me on Saturday, July 4th at 10 p.m. room 409 at the Los Angeles Convention Center. Now, this will be a plus 18 channel, so just letting you know ahead that things might get a little rowdy. So if you're a parent, just be sure to leave the kids back home or at the hotel with somebody and join me while I yap for an hour. I do plan on taking a few of my completed figures so that you can see them up close and personal. Just don't expect the big ones because I need to take something that won't break easily in transit. We wouldn't want that now, would we? So if you do go, you'll get a little up close and personal session with my work while you hear me yap in the background. Now, we don't get to do a lot of original characters on this channel, so what better way to celebrate MerMay in June with our very own merman. Oh yes, we're going there. So enough flipping around, let's get started.
Now, you will have to excuse the missing footage of printing time lapses of this handsome fish, but my Saturn IV Ultra lost its footage in the Ilago servers, so I'm fresh out of luck. But what I did do is print him with Dollmaker from YesThats3DPrinted. I tested this resin out when I did Leon, and all I can say is that I finally found a resin that imitates molded resin almost 1-to-1. Easy to sand, heat bend, and drill through without breaking due to brittleness, and I am so in love with this. If you want to try this yourself, trust me, the price is worth the quality. If you've worked with casted or molded resin in the past, this feels and acts just like it. I've left the link down below for your convenience. I did print the clear parts with Conjure's Rigid Clear for his Hagomoro and some bead bracelets because I want to do some nice effects on him. Let me tell you a little bit about this model. He is an OC, casually named Ningyo-kun or just Mermaid. He was done by Miro, known online as Vanilla Love at 1013. She's done quite a bit of male models that I love. Yes, we're keeping true to featuring female talent on this channel, and this is not the exception. He comes with a total of 39 pieces, although he does come with an extra head in case you want the shape of the pupils in the eyes. I do not. So this is what I got. Originally, he's a 1/7 scale, but I printed him at about 115% more to make it more at a 1/6 scale size. I switched to using the breakaway supports, so all those little bumps will just need to be sanded off. I've realized that these types of supports will leave a piece behind on the surface, and I think it's a little better than the regular supports because when you take those away, you take away a chunk of the surface, and then you need to patch up all those tiny little holes, and this is just easier. I'm going to be filling the base with some water putty. I need something sturdy and heavy to support him so he won't accidentally topple over or fall and break into 1,000 pieces. Something that I've been doing for a while now, but stopped because it makes it super heavy. Instead, I'm using something else, which I'll show you right now in a bit. Right now, what I'm going to do is just make sure that the inside of this model is fully cured by inserting UV LED and leaving them in there for a good 5 minutes each. What I'm using to fill my models to give them a little bit more stability but still keeping them light is expanding foam. It's great, it does the job, it's quick. Check out my Leon video if you want to know a bit more on this, because I did go over with that filling method there. So just hop on there, come back here. Once the pieces were filled out, I just needed to fill those drain holes. And what I did, I used UV paste that I got from AliExpress. I just wanted to see how well it worked, and honestly, I can't complain. It's not branded, I have no clue who the maker is, but this was cheap and it does the job. And to remove those support bumps, I am taking my ultrasonic cutter to do the job. It does it at lightning fast speed and it feels like cutting through butter. This one also has a link in my ultimate list, which you can find in the Google Docs down below in the description. Now, a lot of people don't venture down there and miss out on the treasure trove of knowledge and goodies that I share. So stroll down there and just see what you can find. Let's get the pinning done. I'm starting from the bottom up, so base goes first. Interestingly enough, I spent a hot minute trying to put the lotus together as I was turning it, moving it, sliding it this way, maybe that way. Okay, no, that's not it. I had assembled it when I brought him in, remember? What the fuck? Why is this not fitting together anymore?
Well, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different. Didn't this come with instructions?
I know what I'm doing. I don't need no instructions.
Well, you've done it 17 times already. By all means, keep going.
Small setback, but let's get back on track here. The hair was a little challenging to pin because it's separated in several parts, but again, I'd rather have all these pieces than having to deal with horribly divided models where the fucking hair is fused to the face and I don't have any access to it, and it makes me mad. Just breathe, Leona, breathe. And there we go, fully pinned except for the Hagomoro, which is the scarf floaty thingy. I don't want to ruin the clear effect with pins, so we're gonna have to work with that differently in a little bit. I think the way he was sculpted is so beautiful. The detail just in the hands is just chef's kiss. You can tell when something was sculpted by a woman versus a guy. We tend to focus on these little details that male artists just don't really care much about. Okay, not all of them. Some do, but not all of them. Okay, not all men. Hashtag not all men. Plus, we have a small crack going down the back. Even for a fish, he still be showing a little something without being too distracting. Let's bring out the mustard. It's once in a while that I end up messing things up by accident, and this will be one of those times. Notice the part where I'm adding the mustard to. Yeah, that will come back to bite me later. But before we see that, it's kind of like a little tradition on this channel to make fun of those that constantly ask what the mustard is. And it has come to my attention that some of you get really offended when I don't say what it is, even though I literally link to the video where I explain it and tell you how to use it. And to those of you that scream, "That's gatekeeping!" I'm going to stop you right there and say that not only do you not know the meaning of the word, I don't gatekeep. What I don't do is treat the viewer or my viewers like some little 8-year-olds that don't know how to look up things. Heck, even kids nowadays know their way around the internet. They just have a little bit more initiative to look for things they're interested in and don't wait to be spoon-fed. Anyways, yeah, back to the piece that I first puttied. Yeah, I put it on the wrong side. When you add putty to a connection, you extend that part out. So it's best to apply it to the piece that will go into the socket and not in the socket. You'll mess up the detail in that connection. The belt was gonna end up messed up, hence why I did it again. the hair parts did come out a little warped. So in order to correctly fill gaps, I had to make sure to connect the head to those 3 parts so that they will stay aligned correctly, because I don't want the other parts that go on top of that hair to not fit because I didn't do this. And when that part of the hair was puttied, I could now do the gap on the head itself. But like I said a bit back, the hair parts did warp, and these 2 parts ended up with a pretty bad gap, more like a crack the size of the Grand Canyon. It's fine. Remember, we have our forbidden yellow mustard, and it fixes everything. It's fucking magical. Huzzah! Gap's begun, and we're ready to prime so we can sand, because we don't got time to go back and forth blindly sanding. We need Primer-kun here to show us the way.
For the primer is thy shepherd. You shall fear no seam line. You shall miss no crack. In forbidden mustard we shall pray.
When priming, I'm just using Gaia Notes Surfacer White, and I'm also going to use Gaia Notes Surfacer Clear for the clear parts. It does make them matte, so you could kinda detect where those imperfections are, but it's still hard to do. Yet to be seen. Thanks to Primer-kun, we can now see where all those print lines and supports are located, so now it's just a matter of bringing out all my sanding toys to get on with it. I've been meaning to ask, would you guys like to see a video where I review all of the sanding tools that I have? Mainly the machines, the automatic ones. I got a new one in, and if there's interest, I can definitely make a video with all the pros and cons for each and comparing them if you're looking to get one and you don't know which one to pick. So leave me a comment down below and I'll get right on it. I had to be super careful to not sand off the sculpted hair partings when I was removing the support remnants. When you have the right tools for the job, it's pretty easy, but it's also super tedious. But hey, it's part of the process, it's part of the adventure, and it is part of the challenge. But look how nice it looks, like fully polished. That effort is completely worth it. People might think that the most important part of a figure when you paint it is the paint job, but it's actually the preparation. Everything you do in this stage will actually reflect how well the figure will look like once fully completed. Because if you miss a line, if you leave a gap, it just looks bad, no matter how good a paint job is. If your prep job is shit, your figure will be shit. the clear parts, though. I really do hope that YesThats3DPrinted can offer their own version of clear resin. I would love to be able to sand this and not spend millennia doing it. Now that everything is sanded and polished, I can focus on fusing those clear parts. For that, we're going to use Gaahleri Clear UV Putty, which is just basically just very viscous UV resin that kind of stays in place while you're trying to cure it. It's also semi-easy to sand. It takes a little bit, but it does leave the area really nice and the connection seam is barely visible. And now that everything is polished and pretty, we can start to add our colors.
Finally.
Nice! So what colors are we gonna use? I'm sure you have a great plan. Because you certainly have one. Right?
Of course. I do.
What's wrong? Feel like you can't pick a movie on Netflix? The choices, they overwhelm you.
Hey, I'm used to painting characters with very defined color palettes. That's the equivalent of me always staying inside the lines when coloring.
So what do you do when there are no lines? Oh, come on! Don't go! I didn't mean it like that! Coward.
All right, you know the drill. We do our white base on top of our primer using Gaahleri EX White. I really love this stuff. It really does cover everything. And before we continue, something came in the mail right when I was starting to paint our little mer dude. Our friends over at Gaahleri sent me this interesting compressor / airbrush combo. This thing is tiny. This is supposed to be real quiet, but it will still pack enough punch to help you with your airbrush. Now it does say that the airbrush needs to be a 3mm nozzle size, but it does say that you can also use a smaller nozzle if you switch on the compatibility switch on the back, which is what I will do. The only thing I didn't like about this little machine is that the cord length is barely a meter long, and I had to put it to my left in order to reach the outlet on the floor. But it does change pressure easily, and you can see the temperature on it, so let's give this a try. I'm going to start with the hair. I usually do skin first, but we're experimenting and I don't want to have to redo the skin if something goes wrong, so hair is easier. I'll be doing some gradients on this entire model. That's going to be the theme, so let's start with an orange base. Using the lowest pressure, I started to spray and I did feel really smooth. Like the pressure was really smooth. I did use my 0.2mm nozzle for this, and well, let's see how it goes. So far, it's going really well, so let's move on to some red to start making that ombre effect. I was able to spray fairly smooth, so I just made sure to not cover all the orange to leave some streaks as highlights. Trying to paint in between these strands was a little challenging due to all the twists and turns they have, but it was still pretty doable. Now we move on with some wine red to just the tips on everything. I say I do be liking this so far, the compressor and the gradient. But let's crank up the difficulty and lower the pressure and see what this really is capable of. So let's proceed with the skin. I'm going to be using Modo's Pro Mix Red. Now I normally do orange for the majority of the characters I paint. Red is usually applied to depict a more colder, paler effect, believe it or not. And since our merman is a fish, well, fish are cold and live in the depths of the sea where the sun don't reach and the sun don't shine. So yes, let's make him look the part. I really had to concentrate a lot on the pressure I was applying to the trigger, not only down, but also pulling it back. The compressor, while marking the lowest PSI, I still felt like it was a bit strong, even comparing it to my regular one, and I did feel the difference. But using this with a 0.2mm nozzle is possible. Just look at all those fine sprays. When doing really fine detailing like this, you need like really good PSI control. And if I was able to do this, it does have its advantages. However, it does take a bit more to concentrate on not pulling the trigger so far so you won't get a strong spray and cover too much where you don't want to. I found myself using this compressor quite a bit through this project. I think it's a great little portable machine when you want to take your hobby with you somewhere or are on a budget and have a small space to work with, or all of the above. The PSI and pressure that this little machine gives is really good, but you need to adjust the pressure that you apply to your own airbrush if you're going to use a 0.2mm nozzle. It's going to take a little bit of practice to get it right. The only thing, like I said, I didn't like about this machine was the length of the cord. It's really, really short. I wish they did at least one that was twice the length of the outlet because space. I left the link down below in the description if this caught your eye. I like to test and use the products I recommend, and if I didn't like them, I wouldn't be showing them to you right now. So I think this has a lot of potential for someone that is looking to get a portable or a very small and quiet compressor. I was finally able to get me some much needed off-white color. Before I do the face, I'm going to cover the eyes with this so the catch lights will look much brighter when we get to paint the eyes down the line. You can actually see there's a subtle difference there, which is great. Let's proceed with step 2, which is the actual skin color, as we just did our pre-shadings, which is part of the 3-step Modo Pro Mix skin set thingy. I already have a video on that. You should check it out. I'll just leave it in the cards. I bought this set of pastel paints a while back from Maca Color. I rarely ever use pastels. Pastel colors, not pastels. But this time, I wanted to really break these in for the first time. I want to do a gradient on the tail, so we're going to start with a pastel turquoise for the very top, going diagonally down. Look at that little fish cake. I'm gonna then use this pastel blue to help with the transition. Now we need to be consistent with the colors, so I also made sure to paint the middle portion of the tail with the same color to help with that transition. Then I can now start to paint with some cobalt blue. Now I don't want to stop there, so I'm doing a bit of this pastel purple going on periwinkle to highlight some areas. Yes, we're pulling all the stops here. I'm not mentally restricted by established color palettes, so why not go ham? I'm then just adding some normal purple shadings to really seal this off. Now, I didn't feel entirely convinced with the upper portion of his waist, so I went back and added just a light layer of clear green, and that really made it pop.
Red hair, green tail, purple accessories.
What about it?
That color palette is oddly specific, don't you think? Okay, out of all the choices that you have, really, everything that you had, you picked Ariel. You're painting a male Ariel. Oh my god, it's Mario.
No. Ariel's tail is green, okay? This tail is green with a mostly gradient blue.
You're begging for a strike from the mouse. They're relentless.
I'd like to see them try.
I can make you all just as miserable.
Anyways, yes, as much as this will sound and be cliche, my favorite Disney movie is in fact The Little Mermaid. I know every single line by heart thanks to watching it a gazillion times when I was a child, and now I get to paint something that looks like Ariel, but won't be Ariel. And fun fact, did you know that the name Ariel is actually a male name in Mexico and Latin America? So yes, this fits nicely. He will be an Ariel that's not Ariel. Let's do the clear ombre-like effects on his little skirt. I'm actually experimenting a lot with colors and paints with this project, so nothing that you see here was thought of in advance. I'm actually just throwing colors and going with the flow. You know, like letting the paint flow. Never mind. I started with some clear white just for the folds, and then I'm passing over everything with clear pink, which when you look at it, it kind of makes it look like a lilac color and not exactly pink. This actually reminded me a lot of the color of corals, and I thought, why not add a bit of orange to some of the edges? And nothing that will cover the pink, just some accents here and there. And how about adding some crystal clear ruby red shifting paints? Might as well, right? I wasn't entirely convinced of the results, so I thought, why not go over the upper creases a bit with some pearl lilac? And make everything just a bit more opaque. Yes, I know, I threw in a lot of shit in here, but hey, look at it. This is what not planning really looks like, people. You just go with the vibes, okay? This is what the vibes tell me to feel. I really like this mother of pearl paint ever since I got it, and since he has a lot of beaded bracelets, well, why not make them pearly, you know? Because colors! Let's move on with the base. We're still doing gradients, the theme of gradients, so I am mixing some very, very light green for a base. Again, breaking out my pastel green from this maca color set. And then taking some leftover dark forest green paint that I mixed for Sailor Pluto, just for the tips. And likewise with the hair, it was a little bit of an issue to paint certain strands due to how they twisted, so you gotta get creative to not overspray where you don't want to. like I did with the skirt, I'm doing just a little highlight with pastel orange. And that looks just fucking amazing! For the lotus, I went with the classic pink and yellow motif, using a mix of pastel pink with white and using it as our base. To do the tips, I brought out some magenta. It's kind of like a translucent paint, so it's excellent for a gradient effect. I had some blonde stashed away since I just needed a bit. This was more than enough for the area that I was going to use it on. Remember, people, always save your excess paints. You never know when you're going to need some. Finishing off with some topaz gold color shifting paint. This was way too bright and glossy, so after it's applied, I go back and make sure to matte seal it so it will look closer to a flower's texture in real life. With our pastel colors done, let's do some more pastels, to do some shadings now. Can I just say how fucking amazing his hands and nails are sculpted? Just look at all that detail, and you know that I can't resist nails like that and not get them all pretty. That will come in good time, but for now, let's concentrate on the rest of the body. Another dead giveaway that this model was done by a girl. The nips. Yes, we girls know and appreciate the male nips, so please don't be afraid to sculpt them on your own models if you do male figures yourself. Can you imagine if men in the real world didn't have them? They would probably look really creepy, so why do people insist on removing them in anime, cartoons, and even figures? You know, although just don't do what they did back in the 90s, that's all I'm asking. Something that really caught my eye was that his gills were sculpted on his torso and not his neck. It honestly makes more sense to place them there on the neck, as some others have done. The only character that I've seen with gills on the torso has been the Deep from The Boys, and they really made me go, ooh. In that episode where the girl there's him. You guys saw the finale? I thought it was okay, but I honestly don't get why so many people were pissed. Anyways, tangent over. Let's get back to this. I don't want to risk ruining the skin paint job if I used my airbrush to paint them, so I went with something that gives me all the control, which is just using pastel chalk to build up that color. Well, I'm not going to add too much to the hair because the gradients are doing most of the heavy lifting for said effect, so I'm just going to take a little bit of my really expensive pan pastels to shade a few crevasses here and there on the hair. since I'm going with a coral-like theme for his accessories, I finally get to use this fluorescent pink I have in my pastel set, and I must say, this looks quite nice and it fits right in with the entire look. Can you tell that I get really excited whenever I get to use a color, either in paint or in pastel chalk form, that I have never had the opportunity to use until now? Do you realize the excitement that it causes me? No, you cannot. Let's go back to the gills for a moment. I sealed the pastels with gloss instead of matte, so I can use that enamel mucosal red as a wash to finish the actual effect and look of them. And flippity floppity bloom, our skin and gills are done. I'm gonna try and be as careful and meticulous I can be with masking, especially the clear skirt. If this is not as perfect as it can be, it's gonna ruin everything. I did have a hard time masking the belts on his tail. There were some organic shapes to it, and I feel that I'm probably gonna need a lot of touch-ups. But we'll cross that pond when we get there. I want to keep most of the pearls intact, but there's a little bit of the decorations in there that aren't really pearls, and those will be painted over, so and you know what that means. Now, with those beads masked, I can get the little tassets painted to match the others. And then paint the pearls on the other chains that have already had the tassels painted.
You go this way, and I'll go that way.
I did make a boo-boo when I painted over the belt sash. Used the wrong purple out of the two that I had. I had to go back and repaint it so that they can match. Too many color tones. Got me cross-eyed.
Sure, blame it on the colors.
With the tassets now painted, I can do matching pastel shadings just like the rest. After that, I made sure to mask the face so that I can paint the little bits on his earring. Same with the tassels and the pearls on the other chain. Oh my god, so many tassets. I got these new paint samples in the mail right when I was in the middle of painting, and I thought, well, why not try try these on my merman. I mean, these are Kaizo lacquers and they're basically airbrush ready. I wasn't sure which colors to use on him and I went with a bright silver. For that, we need our black base for any metallic, and I've seen these paints in the past. I wanted to use them. I never had the chance to really order some, so I'm glad I got these as samples to try out. I was actually sent their whole myriad of metallics when I was just expecting maybe 2 or 3, but goddamn. I was also sent this gloss sealer, and we all know that we need a super glossy black to make things really pop when it comes to metallics. This gloss did surprise me quite a bit because even after it dried, it looked wet, so that's always a good sign. When I was applying the first coat, it really looked foggy and I was like, what the hell? But once it started to dry and cure, I was like, holy fucking shit. That is super shiny. A lot of metallics look more on the pearl side than others, but this really impressed me. Like guys, no really, look at this shit. Now, I wanted to try another one because freedom! I got this rose gold in the bunch. Now, I'm not a fan of rose gold, but I wanted to give it a try. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I'll just paint it over. I love it! Oh my god, more! I need more! I didn't have a clue on what color to use for the base, but after seeing that rose gold, I found my answer. Don't worry too much about the bumps on the surface. We'll take care of that in a bit. Shh. I know. We're getting there. Don't be impatient. All right, let's get our fishy unpacked. So please enjoy some fresh peel prawn. Okay, it's just a flesh wound. Don't worry, the skirt completely covers this bit, so we still good. Okay, bayonet stripping mitter will not be brought out today. This is nothing. Looks like my masking wasn't 100% sealed and I got 2 bits of paint bleeding, but we can just very carefully scrape it off with a blade. Now, I don't recommend you do this if you're not good at calculating your own pressure on the blade because you can actually scrape the bottom of the paint and you will ruin your work. I do this, but it's super risky. But then again, high risk sometimes equals high reward. That or I'm just fucking fearless and dumb. So looks like the rest went relatively well, but there was this little part of the belt on the lower part of the tail where the masking was really bad, and I thought of using some silver enamel to fill those uneven spots, but then the difference was really noticeable, so I thought, I use the original paint even though it's not meant to be brushed on, but it's either that or having this bother me every time I see it. I just need to be super careful to not go over the edges with this because I can't control Z like I do with the enamel if I fuck up. If you're wondering how I can do this, it's by holding my breath. Okay, that looks a bit better. It's still gonna bother me, but we have to take an L once in a while and just not look at it whenever you walk by it. I did the same with the rest of the uneven masking on the armbands. I'm lucky you don't really see this angle once assembled, so we're still saving this. And since I don't want to mask all these tiny slithers, I'm going to paint them manually with the closest thing I have to the tone of the original silver, and that's this mirror paint from Stuart Simple. It's okay. I'm glad the little uneven parts were minor and the problem is relatively hidden. The problem is that I need to match the color because I'm not going to use the same lacquer paint I used originally. So I brought out all my lilac and purple acrylic to mix something that's close to it. It won't be noticeable, but I need to make sure it matches first by doing a few tests and then applying what I think will match the best. And there we go, all touched up. No, I didn't forget about the nails. I said I'd be painting them, so here we are. I thought of just doing the same French tips I always do, but he's a merman, so no white. Instead, we'll use some iridescent flakes just on the tips. Oh my god, I've never seen such gorgeous nails on a man fish. How can I be so envious of my own Manny that's not on my own hands? The life of a painter, always painting nice things but never painting on yourself. Let's get that face done. I'll be using the lacquer over enamel technique, but we'll be doing something simple yet elegant. As always, let's take a moment to thank my Resin Monkey Army over on Patreon. A big shout out to my VIP monkeys who help keep the lights on this workshop completely on and blinding me. Rain Crystal, Shiseido Lenny, Ashtar, Kato, Catriella, Zafiel, Skyla Doragono, Meowmix Cat, SK Lanfer, Sam Ash, Yoki, Amanda Siva, Kayal Maleficent, Mrs. of All Evil, Noko, Nastin, Kimchi Collector, Stephanie, Pikachica, Nita King, Evelyn Cole, Seti, Sharona Belavari, Alison Metallium, Dragon Riding, Yas Queen, Blach, It's me, Brandy Hicks, Agent Ayu, Tanny Glaze, Chaos Kitty, Kiki, Sage Rosado, Jolly Roger 9030, Anna Melker, Cannoli Rose, Strasia Meow Meow, Megan Duffy, Yoya Uchi, Connor Works, Aisha Lee, Jasmine Meckler, Moonlight K54, Muffin and Zicko, Tornado Sky, Loki Kitten, Mr. Asamosity, Katie Bear, Roger Lloyd, Michael McClellan, Jesus Vasquez, Panatone GK, Alter Thays 21G, and Silent Siren. Consider becoming a patron to get exclusive access to my behind the scenes, as well as the spicy stuff that I tend to not show on YouTube due to community guidelines. I just made sure to do some gradients, or try to in such a small area, so I can add a tiny catchlight in white. And I can definitely say that the off-white base worked way better, and they look a lot brighter once applied. I want to take that same iridescent flake from the nails and encrust it into the pupils, but just micro size to emulate a fisheye. If you notice, they tend to glimmer with the light, so why not try and do the same for our fish guy? With the face done, now we can remove the masking on the earring and finish painting the middle bits on the earlobe. We're almost done, but we still have a few details to iron out. Since I added the iridescent flakes to his pupils, I thought, why not give him some scales too, since he doesn't have any? So I brought out some glitter to emulate them just a bit. I don't want to cover the entire thing. Taking my time and placing each and every one of them took a hot minute, but honestly, the result was more worth it than anything. I also did a few scales on the arms because I definitely didn't scratch one and I couldn't fix it. Scales look really nice on his wrists, right? And since we're doing water themes for him, I thought, why not put a few water droplets on the leaves with some UV resin? It looks really nice and fresh. Let's fix the surface of the base by hiding everything the best way we know how. I thought it'd be great to add a bit of clear resin to make some water effects on that little depression that feels like it was meant to be there to be used that way. I don't know, it just gives me those vibes. Using some clear UV resin and picking some blue ink to mix it in, then very carefully trying not to spill over because then it would be over. Quickly curing it with my UV curing station, and this resin will warp if it's too thick, and it's perfect because it would make a water texture more believable like this. And with all that adventure, our little merman is finally complete.
Fellow bottles and cans, can I get a hallelujah?
As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as I said earlier, I did plan to have this out before the month of May ended, but if you follow me on IG or if you check my community tab, you would understand what happened for this video to come out a little late. You know, it's a complete and utter bullshit lie when people say that an artist makes their best work when they're depressed or sad. I can't even lift a fucking sanding sponge when I'm not in the mood. So yeah, if you ever hear someone say that, please let them know on my behalf to go fuck right off. Anyways, even though I didn't make it in time for this video, I hope you will still consider helping me by hyping up this video so that it can reach more people. Give this video a like if you really, really liked it, and if I've earned it, subscribe. Now, before I go, I want to quickly give an announcement to those that have been asking. I know there are very few of you, so this is just for the very few that have asked in the past. I will be launching official channel merch very soon. You know, I was hesitant at first because I honestly don't know who would really want to buy anything from my channel. But hey, for the 5 of you that asked, I will be offering special designs because I didn't just want to slap my logo on a t-shirt and call it a day. Like, if you're going to spend money on something, I want it to be meaningful and fun. So yeah, that will come soon. Not right now because I'm still in the preparation phase of launching everything and getting all the stuff that I will be offering for you 5 people, those you amazing 5 people. So be sure to follow me on socials, check the community tab, or hey, better yet, join my newsletter. I will be dropping it very soon to give you like a really quick rundown of everything that's happened and what will happen in the coming months. So yeah, join in, sign up, and follow me to know when it will drop. Leave me a comment with a little mermaid emoji to let me know that you saw everything up until the very end. And I hope to see you in the next video. And if not, I hope to meet you in person at Anime Expo next month. Until next time, my dear resin monkeys, les poissons, how I love les poissons. Mwah! Clean up. Did you say something?
Don't rattle me there. Ah! We've waited 7 years.
Well, you know, the definition of madness is doing the thing.
Sanity. Madness or insanity? Pick one more time.
Damn me and my ad lib.
Thing come with instructions. Try and do it a little bit faster.
Do you just want the last part or do you want the whole thing?
I want the whole thing, but the last part be a little bit faster.
Bet you do.
Oh my god! Cochino!
It's a reflection. It's,
You were the one that came up.
I know. Hold on. I'm working on the tone. For the primer is your shepherd, you shall fear no seam. You shall fear no seam line. You will miss no crack. In forbidden mustard, we shall pray. Go. I gotta work with this.
Oh god, okay. Now I need to redesign the merch I ordered.
Primer Pope. Last of this. No, Father, don't touch me there. Oh wait, not there? Didn't taste like communion wine.
How do you fucking come up with this shit?
It's a curse. Commitment issues, huh? Oh, come on. No, I didn't mean it like that. Don't go. Pussy. You know you're begging for a strike from the mouse of the house.
The House of Mouse.
The House of Mouse. God damn it. You know you're begging for the strike for the House of Mouse.
From not for.
You know you're begging for the strike from the House Mouse. Really? Really?
From the House of Mouse! No, you forgot to say, don't rattle me there.
Yeah.
You're already sleeping.
I'm a method actor. Fellow bottles and cans, can I get a hallelujah?
Okay, that's good.